Let's start one more time.
We reached 100 subscribers.
It's incredible. We never thought that we would get anywhere close to that.
As a thank you to everybody, we thought it would be really fun to do a sit-down Q&A video telling you guys a little bit more about us. We don't have many subscribers. We love all of you, but we didn't ask for these questions on an Instagram or anything. We just decided to come up with questions that we thought you guys could find kind of interesting, and Andrew has not seen them. So this will be fun.
Katie combed through fun Q&As from other creators that we like and found the best questions. I don't know any of these, so it'll be a little on-the-spot questions. And we'll see how it goes. Because I bet if we asked all of you, we would get maybe one question from Katie's mom. That'd be about it.
And my mom knows everything about us, so hi, Mom. But let's get started.
Let's do it.
I'm written down here on my phone. We made espresso, by the way, for the first time today, everybody. It's very exciting. We bought a mocha pot. But let's just start off and get to know each other a little bit better, kind of have you guys get to know us and say, where are you from?
I grew up in San Diego, California, and was born and raised there. Grew up maybe 20 miles east or so of downtown in East County. Yeah, I lived there my entire life. My parents were born and raised in San Diego. They're still there. So that's where I would call home.
Well, Andrew grew up in Paradise, the most perfect city in America, according to everybody. I grew up very differently. I grew up in Washington State, and you're probably thinking, oh, Sleepless in Seattle. No, absolutely not. I grew up in a very small town. It's called Hoquiam, Washington. It's on the coast of Washington State. And imagine Twilight. That's kind of the Washington State I'm from, but I grew up in a teeny tiny town of about 8,000 people. So we couldn't have grown up more differently.
Yeah. I was straight up in the suburbs. Katie was in the middle of nowhere, basically.
Yeah, I was in the middle of nowhere. My town is actually mentioned in the Twilight books as like a town where the Cullens live because it gets no sun. And I grew up in a 100-year-old home. Yeah. I grew up in a historic home. And you grew up in a 1970s subdivision.
Basic suburban track home.
Yeah, and now here we are now. We now live in Florida, so our life has kind of taken us to 3 different corners.
Sure has. 3 of the 4 corners.
We need to retire in Maine.
You know, Maine's actually really pretty.
Yeah, we went to Maine this year. We liked it. I guess since we are from different places, let's explain how we met.
Okay.
We met, this is actually a really fun story. We met working at Disneyland in California. We were college interns. I worked in guest relations, so they're the people that like are the tour guides. They wear the plaid skirt suits, a little plaid vest, and Andrew worked in custodial.
Yeah, I was a sweeper at Disneyland, dumped trash, cleaned the bathrooms. And we were part of the college program that they have. We met in the dorms one night. We had mutual friends, and there was a hangout one night, and I think we were watching Disneyland Fun, the old sing-along, the old sing-along songs.
If you know the trees, you know you know.
Yep. And we met there and got to know each other over the next couple of months, and then started dating near the end of the program. So that was 2010. And we've been together 14 years now. Yeah,
we did long distance for a year. He went to college in Washington State, which is where I'm from, and I went to college there as well. Conveniently. We dated a year long distance, and we moved in together after that and haven't looked back since. You're stuck with me now. Now you're making YouTube videos. Who would have thought?
Not me.
On top of that, what are our day jobs? I work in recruitment for a large theme park conglomerate in Orlando. You can probably attest to where it is.
And I work in finance, not the type of finance that people think, which is investment banking and doing all that. Nope, I do basic budgets, financial planning and analysis, and I work for a major gym chain. I've been working in finance for 10 years now, and before that I worked for Universal and then Disney before that, where we met.
Yep. And I have worked for Universal as well, which is really cool because we actually worked at Universal together as well. How long have we been married, and where did we get married?
We have been married for 9 years.
Good job, that was a test.
It was a test. Well, I guess we're coming up on our 9-year anniversary, so it's 8 years right now.
Yeah, we're coming up on our 9 year, and we got married in Los Angeles, California, at a place called Studio 1342, which was an old photography studio located in kind of the mid-city Beverly Hills, West Hollywood kind of area, but it wasn't in Beverly Hills. We weren't that fancy. No. But it has since been torn down, and it is now a Michael's, Sprouts, and Target.
Which is convenient. convenient, but it's sad because it was a really cool studio.
It was a really cool venue.
Yeah, so it was October 25th in 2015 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, no, 3:30?
3:30 in the afternoon.
3:30.
Yep.
I think we only started 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
Bravo. Fun wedding. It was all in one spot. It had this cool outdoor patio where we had the ceremony, and then you could do the cocktail hour right there. And then you went inside to the little film studio. It was kind of like a warehouse loft. And that's where we had dancing and all the reception activities.
Fun fact, we had PB&Js as our hors d'oeuvres in our cocktail
and grilled
hour.
cheese.
Yep, and grilled cheese. So
with milk dippers for the PB&J.
And a tomato soup shooter.
It was really creative.
So it was really fun. We had a kind of a quirky, fun wedding. We're kind of quirky, fun people. Why did you want to start a YouTube channel? During COVID in 2020, I was furloughed from my job. So Andrew was still working. He was working from home though. I was sitting at home all day, just like a lot of you. I downloaded a little app called TikTok. We just kind of downloaded it a little bit to like, let's watch funny cat videos. And we actually really started liking it, and I really took to learning to edit. I started making some TikTok videos. I had a couple of videos go like semi-viral, which was pretty cool. And I just really enjoyed bringing joy to people. I would send them to, my family and friends, and then it kind of started to grow and grow and grow. From there, I just got really into editing. When we moved to Florida this last year, we decided to buy a vlog camera. We said, hey, are we ever gonna use this? But we decided to buy one, and I guess the rest is history. It's been a bigger challenge than TikTok of making a long form, and it's been a good challenge and a good thing for us to kind of work together.
Katie was really into the TikTok videos and was doing really well with them. And I had always been interested in making longer form videos. I'm an old school YouTuber. I've been watching since 2006 or 7 when the platform kind of started, shortly after. And I'd always wanted to make videos. I just didn't quite know what content to do. You can find actually some really old videos of me solving Rubik's Cubes on YouTube. And so I'd always been interested, but I was always shy in front of the camera. Once Katie started to do TikTok,
I roped him in.
She roped me in. I started to go on camera because, again, we had nothing else to do.
But what were we doing during COVID? We were
Nothing.
making taste test videos, everybody, where we would generic food versus like the name brand taste test, because we literally could only go to the grocery store in California. That was the only thing open.
And so once I kind of started to get braver, I always was interested in long form. And then, we bought the camera, decided to give it a shot, and it took off in terms of fun for us. And we're up to 20-something videos. It's also one of those things where, looking back, we definitely regret in our earlier years not recording more of our relationship and our adventures. We have pictures, of course, but limited videos. We just didn't think to take as much videos. Plus, we didn't have great equipment. We just had
smartphones didn't really exist when we first met. I mean, they were very limited.
I think we got our iPhones a couple years after. So the footage was grainy. It wasn't that great. We didn't have good cameras. So I'm really enjoying it now, not only just to learn to edit and make fun things, but so we can look back and document where we're going, the fun events we're going to, what we're thinking, what we were like during this time. So it's been great.
Yeah, I think it's even fun to look back on ourselves back in 2020, like when we started TikTok. And I think, how cool is it that your relatives in years could see what you were like when you were younger? I mean, I would think it would be so cool to see videos of my grandparents when they were younger, because they didn't really have a lot of that technology then. And I think it's great that we have it now.
Do you think our niece and nephew are going to watch this back in 30 years?
Maybe. Calvin, Kira, let us know. Comment down below in 30 years. So speaking of YouTube, who does the editing of our videos?
We actually both do the editing.
We both pretty evenly split the editing. I think when it comes to making the videos, we split the editing pretty evenly. We use iMovie as our software. So it's free software. If you guys want to start a YouTube channel, it's a really easy way to do it if you have a Mac. But then I make all of the thumbnails, which are those little photos that you see when you have like the advertisement on YouTube. I also write all of the descriptions and the captions. And Andrew is the main videographer, as you can see, because I'm usually on camera.
So usually, I'd say once a month or so, we go to a coffee shop and we sit down and plan out future videos or ideas, just to kind of have a running list of things. Of course, if we're going on a trip, that kind of, okay, what videos can we get out of that trip? But if it's just, hey, let's do something around town, we'll come up and have a running list and see when it seems like a fun idea to go do that. And then once we film it, we have everything in the can. bring it home. I'll upload everything, do all the computer logistics, get the hard drive set up, and then really it just comes down to who's free and who wants to jump in first. That person generally takes a full crack at it, or at least a half crack at doing the full outline. Then the other one comes in, looks at it, re-edits, changes, trims, and then we kind of go back and forth. Katie's really good at the humor and the funny elements. She adds all the little quips, the little video or pictures.
And Andrew is very good at making sure that stuff is concise. He's very good at audio editing. He'll make sure that you can hear our voices over the music.
And then I also trim to make them as short as I can. Not that I want it super short, but sometimes it's like, oh, we forgot to leave this long clip on for
I would say like we're pretty creatively similar, but we're also very creatively different. I feel like you're
She's
a lot
funnier.
more literal, and I'm a lot more like humorous.
Yeah.
I'm also one that when we're out filming, Andrew will want to film to get the perfect shot, and I will be like, oh, we got it.
Yep,
I'm
I'm ready to stand for a few minutes and get an awesome, cool panoramic, and Katie's like, no, just, there we go, that's good.
There we go,
Move on.
on my iPhone.
We're not the most cinematic yet.
I mean, Andrew wants to be. I'm more authentic. What are some YouTube channels that we follow? We like to shout out, we actually know these people in person. So Nate and Katrina Do the World. They are Andrew's childhood neighbor, Katrina, and her boyfriend, Nate. They live in the Netherlands and make expat Netherlands content. We love to travel, so we love watching.
We watch Kara and Nate as well.
Probably heard of them.
For fun travel videos, and it's been really fun to go back and see their early videos, because you can see the progression from the professional grade they are now to when it was just turn the camera on and make 5 minutes worth of here's what I did for the day.
Cecilia, who is a woman who I think it's Cecilia Bromdahl. She's a woman who lives in Svalbard, which is an island that's very north. It's close to the North Pole, and it's just her and her life in Svalbard. So they have 24-hour night during the winter and 24-hour day during the summer, and so it's talking about how difficult that is, but how awesome it is too. And she lives with her boyfriend Christopher and her dog Grim, and she's very calming. She just has a very good life. I actually feel like we've adopted some of her lifestyle, like the Scandinavian sleep method with 2 duvets. What is your favorite place that we've traveled? So I'm gonna pick a couple. I'll go. So can I pick 2?
Sure.
Okay. So my favorite international destination is London. I have a special place in my heart for London.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time in London a couple of years ago, multiple months. So I think London is always gonna have a special place in my heart. But my favorite place to travel in the US is San Francisco.
And we've made a video to San Francisco and London.
We have. Yep.
We made videos for both.
We've been to both this year.
I'm gonna go with Norway. Because
that was pretty good.
So we did a Disney cruise to Norway up through the fjords, and that was an incredible experience. The nature elements were breathtaking. The small villages we went to were just so adorable and unlike anything we'd seen. And it just felt like a different type of life. And it made me kind of relax a little bit more and try to not always go so fast. So I think we were living in LA at the time, and LA is as go as you can possibly go. So it was nice to see a little bit more slower paced of life and just kind of realizing the good things. And I think about the trip all the time. Yeah,
that was an amazing trip. We went through the fjords of Norway, which was really cool because we got to go to these really remote villages. And I'll never forget, we went to this one village, and it was the first time the Disney ship had ever gone to this village. And the children of the school, so all the little kindergartners, were waving at the ship because it was like the Disney ship came to their town. And like, how cool is that? And I feel like, it's not something I ever thought I would have seen, would be like this remote little village in Norway.
The place where the 1 or 2 restaurants were closed. The entire village.
In the entire village, yeah.
Grocery store was open.
Yeah, they had a grocery store. This is a tiny village. They might have had a couple hundred people that lived there.
I think we made peanut butter and jellies and went to a local park.
We did.
It was so fun.
It was fun. Any travel packing tips?
Less is more. You don't need to bring everything. You can re-wear clothes. But in general, the biggest tip that I have is when it comes to your toiletries, if you can, have separate toiletry bag that is purely for travel set aside, and always have it stocked so that when you're ready to go on your trip, you grab it and you're ready to go. Toothpaste, toothbrush, all that type of stuff. Basically, when I get home from a trip, I will restock, but then I have like separate
deodorant,
separate medication, anything that you need, have it separate from your day-to-day life so you literally pick up and go.
So I do the exact same thing. So we actually have like a little basket of travel goods. So if we run out of toothpaste, if we run out of toothbrushes, we replace it right away. I have double the makeup. I have an extra hair straightener that lives in my suitcase. And then just realizing that you can rewear stuff, I think that's huge. Go carry on if you can at all possible. It's a lot easier in the summer because you don't need big puffy coats and jeans and things like that. You can wear pretty much shorts and t-shirts. But don't be afraid to rewear stuff is huge. Minimal shoes. I think a good tip too is if you have an old ratty pair of tennis shoes that are still comfy, bring them and throw them away at the end of your trip, and then you can have room for souvenirs. But yeah, I think it's just having those extra toiletries is huge, because then we can just grab them and go. We don't start packing until, you do kind of do it the night before. I do it like a couple hours before, and we're pretty old, but we're really used to it by now.
Also, a game changer that we did this year, we got a little pouch just for our cords.
Yeah.
So each cord has a little slot in it.
Like our chargers, our headphones.
Absolutely, because you never know when you need a USB-C or a classic USB or a converter or this or that. So literally I have that, I grab it and I go, so I don't have to unplug my phone charger from my house and everything. It's ready to go. So basically I try to keep a travel set of anything ready to go at any time, and it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, and even like we have like our camera bag that we pack, so it helps out like organize our camera equipment, because we bring cameras a lot of times when we travel too.
And also, 99% of the places you're gonna travel to, remember, they all have stores.
Yeah.
They have grocery stores, they have pharmacies.
They have clothes.
They have clothes. So if you forget something, it's not the end of the world. You can always go buy yourself a $10 t-shirt. You could buy yourself some deodorant.
Jeans.
You can buy yourself a pair of jeans. Anything like that, they're cheap stores, because really, you don't need that clothes to last. You could buy a $10 pair of pants, and as long as it gets you through the next day or two, you're good.
Like, I am notorious for forgetting pajamas on trips, and I can't tell you how many pairs of pajamas I've bought at Target.
And then you end up bringing them home, and then they're great.
They're usually great pajamas. But yeah, I have forgotten lots of stuff, and I mean, unless you are going to like remote Antarctica, they are going to have every necessity you need. So don't fret too much. You can always get it there, even if they lose your luggage. If you could live anywhere, where would you live? It's like, that's what I was gonna say too. We have a special place in our heart for London.
London's so fun.
Yeah, we spent multiple months in London last year, and we lived in LA, so we lived in a big city, but we'd never lived in a big walkable city, and we loved it. Like, I thrived without a car. I thrived with a small refrigerator. If I could move back to London, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I love the food, I love the people, I love the culture, I like the tube system. Anything relating, all my favorite bands are from the UK, particularly London area, so we
love the royal family.
She likes the royal family, so London would be the top of my list.
Yeah, kind of more relating to where we live now. What is your favorite Disney park? So we met working at Disney.
My favorite Disney park
that we've been to
is Epcot. If you've seen all our videos, we probably end up at Epcot all the time. Makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, it's my favorite. I didn't grow up going to Disney World. Katie took me there for the first time in college, so in 2010, 2011. It was eye-opening. So I've been to Disneyland. I grew up an hour and a half from Disneyland, so I went once a year as a child. Seeing the World Showcase was unlike anything that I'd seen before. Seeing Spaceship Earth, I really had no idea there was a ride inside of the giant ball. Seeing things like Living with the Land, it was unique and different from Disney, and that was really cool to me.
Yeah, Epcot's my favorite too. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. I didn't go to Epcot or Disney World as a whole until I was an adult either. And I think the World Showcase just blew me away. I grew up going to Disneyland as well, growing up on the West Coast. But we go to all the Disney parks. We, have gone for years. We've probably been to the Disney parks hundreds of times. What is your favorite food? Mine is pancakes, but only if Andrew makes them.
I make good pancakes.
He makes me pancakes every week, and only if Andrew makes them. I won't order them at restaurants, but Andrew's pancakes.
My favorite food is a little more niche, but it is a carne asada burrito.
From where?
Do you want me to get specific?
You have to get specific. You said
carne asada burrito from Macho's Taco Shop in La Mesa, California.
Comment below if you've heard of this taco shop.
It's my favorite. So San Diego, big thing are carne asada burritos and California burritos. I am not a California burrito
A California burrito, for those of you who don't know, has French fries in it. That is so weird.
So carne asada, just to separate the two, I can go on a tangent for an hour, but I'll condense it down to a minute. A carne asada burrito is basically you have your steak that's been marinated, It's cooked, and then you put it in a tortilla. Usually it has onions, cilantro, maybe some guacamole.
It's the size of a small child.
Yeah, it's like this big. It's huge, but it's delicious. That's my favorite. And then they came up with another version called the California burrito, which also has sour cream in it,
and
as well as French fries. I am not a fan of the California burrito. I think the French fries...
Like starch with the tortilla.
Yeah, French fries are unnecessary in it. I think just give me the carne asada and you're good to go.
Yeah.
But
I'm proud of you.
Best.
Usually Andrew says Mexican food, but I said you have to choose specific food, so good job.
I'm more specific.
Do we have any pets?
No.
No, we don't. Andrew, you grew up with dogs and cats and all kinds of pets. I have never had a pet. My mom was very, very allergic to any animal with fur, so dogs, cats, and then we travel so much that it's really hard for us to have a pet, but never say never. I would love to have a pet. So if we find ourselves in a situation where it's a little easier to have a pet, maybe a cat. I feel like a cat's a good first step for a first pet for me. What TV shows do we watch? What are some TV shows that we watch? The Office.
The Office is our go-to.
Yeah, that's like our comfort show.
Once a year we watch pretty much the whole thing.
Other shows that we've watched over the years, we watched Law & Order SVU. Love Olivia Benson. It's kind of weird though, now that Stabler's kind of coming back into the mix with that, what's his spinoff called?
Organized Crime.
Organized Crime. We don't watch Organized Crime.
Stranger Things.
Emily in Paris. All American, the absolute best, worst show of all time.
It's so bad.
I wouldn't recommend watching it.
But we've been there since the very beginning.
Yeah, we have to stay in. We've also watched The O.C. We watched
The Girls Next Door.
The Girls Next Door is probably one of our favorite shows. It's like the Playboy Mansion, like girlfriend show. Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders Making the Team. We were fans way before this Netflix documentary, which we also watched. And other big ones, Top Chef. We love Top Chef.
Top Chef fans. And Project Runway.
We're huge Top Chef and Project Runway fans, so we're not immune to the reality TV.
Yeah.
What do you miss most about the West Coast? The carne asada burrito?
Yeah, for sure miss the carne asada burrito. Absolutely.
Okay, for me, I miss the fact, at least in LA in specific, everything kind of came there. So like if there was a concert, it would be there. If there was like a movie coming out, we would have like pop-ups for it. You know, like they had a Kylie Cosmetics crumble cookies collab a couple weeks ago, and I was like, man, if I was there, I would have been there. It was cool to be around all of those like kind of things. So I miss that, and I also miss filming locations. We are huge movie location buffs. If you go to our TikTok, you can actually see us finding, like, we redid the ET bike path. We found all the horror movie houses, you know, Father of the Bride house, everything from the TV show The Office, which, fun fact, was filmed in LA and not in Pennsylvania.
And there are filming locations on the East Coast. We know that.
Yeah.
We've seen some.
But there's not as many where we live currently as opposed to LA, which was like the mecca of them. I mean, LA, they were around every corner. So I think I miss just having them more readily available.
We miss the variety of grocery stores that are available on the West Coast. So nothing against Publix. I love Publix. It's a pleasure to shop there. But
not for my wallet.
Mostly it, and it's so expensive these days.
Yeah, it's really expensive.
There really aren't that many other options. We do have one Winn-Dixie nearby, but then you have to go to your more specialty, so your Whole Foods, Trader Joe's,
or Walmart.
Target, Walmart, which again are all fine, and we go to those. But in California, you had, I know Vons and Albertsons are the same, but then you also had Ralph's for your Kroger. Then
Stater
you had Stater Brothers. Then you had a lot more of your local regional grocery stores. It was just like you had a bunch of options and they were all nearby. So if one thing was out, you could go check another place. Whereas here, you pretty much got your main option when it comes to true grocery.
And a hard thing too is like we had a lot more specialty and ethnic grocery stores and stuff in Los Angeles especially. So if we needed to get like a very specific French butter, we could find it. Here it's a lot harder. So we've had to get a lot more creative with some of those more creative recipes. It's not impossible, but it's just not as easy as it was. What is the best restaurant in Orlando / Walt Disney World? So you can pick a Disney World one. If I'm going for just best food, I'm gonna pick Yachtsman Steakhouse, which is located over at the Yacht Club Resort at Disney World. It's like a classic steakhouse, but their mashed potatoes are divine. They're so good. But just like everyday restaurant, it's gotta be Geyser Point.
Oh, I love Geyser Point.
Geyser Point. So it's at Disney's Wilderness Lodge Resort. It's like a Northwest theme, so I'm from the Northwest. So they have like a bison burger, and that bison burger is so good. And they have Northwest wines, and it's on the water. It's so nice.
It's the best.
It's so good.
No, that place is great. That's my favorite spot in Disney World, just to see and be a part of the atmosphere.
And they'll make me a Kir Royale.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, the bartenders know you.
Yeah, they know me for the Kir Royale.
Yeah, I would tag along with the Geyser Point. It's my favorite. It's my favorite bar, and then I love their bison burger and hanging out there. It's perfect. I like an outdoor patio, so that's my go-to spot.
All right, we're almost done. We only have a few more left. With travel, do you prefer to fly or drive somewhere? I prefer to fly. I don't dislike driving. We've driven across the country, what, 4 times now? 5 times? So we've driven across the country quite a bit. Andrew's driven across the country quite a bit. I drove.
You drove some.
I've driven from Washington to California. I've also driven from California to Texas by myself. I would say flying just because you get to do more things when you're flying. You have more time. A lot of times when you're on a cross-country road trip, you spend all day driving, and I'll drive from, for example, Florida to New Orleans, and I'll get to New Orleans at 8 p.m. And so I don't get to really experience New Orleans as much as if I had flown there. So I think I would choose flying, but I wouldn't trade our experience driving, because I think we got to see a lot of really unique stuff. Like, what was that place? Winslow, Arizona.
Winslow, Arizona was fun,
we got to see that. You get to see those weird things.
Flying is better because you can get somewhere faster, you can go across large bodies of water, and then you can enjoy things. But I'll take the other angle and I'll say a driving trip, because you get to see the small things in between. Mm-hmm. You get to make the pit stops when you want to. You get to take that little detour, and you get to see the journey to wherever your destination is. And sometimes the journey is more fun than the destination itself. When we would drive, we'd go to Texas, and you see those small towns, and you see one that's almost falling apart, but then you go and you see something that's like up and coming, or you get to pull off. Like this last time when we were moving to Florida, we were in Louisiana, and we pulled off because we saw this place that had these fritters.
It was boudin balls.
Boudin balls, and we had no idea what it was.
It was at a gas station.
It was at a gas station, and it looked great, and this guy walks in and starts speaking Creole to...
It looked great. We also had a sign outside everybody that said there was a squirrel cooking contest.
Yeah, we should have gone to that. I think it was the following weekend.
It was the following weekend. We didn't make it, rats.
But those are the things that you miss sometimes if you just fly to whatever major city or destination you're going to. Yeah. So I'll take driving.
Yeah.
Although it can get very long.
Yeah, we've definitely had some long drives, but we've had some good ones. And now we're almost done. So we have some rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Okay. Halloween or Christmas?
Christmas.
You know, it's gonna be Christmas. I'm kind of into Halloween right now, but it's Christmas.
Halloween scared me as a kid. It's grown on me now.
I like Halloween. Pancakes or waffles? I'm gonna choose pancakes because your pancakes are my favorite food.
Thank you. Waffles.
TikTok or Instagram? TikTok.
TikTok right now.
Yeah, because TikTok was like what really got me into videos. So I think TikTok is a really, and I don't have to follow people I know on TikTok. It's all like these hypothetical people that I just follow. I only follow like 15 people.
Instagram has gotten a little stale, and Reels is TikTok 2 weeks later.
Yeah, Reels is a late TikTok, everybody. Hot take. So Disney one, Mickey bar or churro?
Mickey bar.
Mickey bar, hands down. The Mickey bar has like a dark chocolate on it.
Mickey bar is so good.
So good. Summer or Winter Olympics? Since the Olympics are going on as we're filming this.
Summer Olympics.
Winter Olympics. What's your favorite Summer Olympic sport?
Swimming. I'm a swimming person.
And my favorite Winter Olympic sport is slalom.
Slalom?
The slalom. I love the slalom where they go through the poles. It's so cool. Do you like in-person or online shopping?
In person. I hate online shopping.
Yeah, in person too. I get really overwhelmed online, and I want the world not to just be people on their screens, but you can watch our video, but then go out and do your in-person shopping.
I specifically purchase maybe 1 or 2 things on Amazon per year. And I'd say...
Andrew doesn't have Amazon Prime, everybody.
No.
I don't have it either. I literally use my mom's. So Mom, I use your Amazon Prime. The best Disney Parks attraction. Small World in Disneyland. The Disneyland Small World, it's stunning. They redo it for Christmas. And it's just a classic ride, but Disneyland Small World specifically.
I think overall Pirates is still the best ride maybe ever. Also shout out Spaceship Earth.
Cool. Your favorite vinyl record that we own. Fun fact, we collect vinyl records, and we have roughly how many?
600 plus.
Yeah. So what's your favorite one?
As you probably have seen in a bunch of my videos, I always wear my Dark Side of the Moon hat. It was the first record I put on when I was in high school, and it kind of blew me away. I just went to my garage and pulled it out of my parents' collection and never really looked back. So I would say my uncle's Dark Side of the Moon record that I inherited from him, and it has still all the posters and all the inserts inside. So
it's like an original.
Yeah, it's great.
And my favorite is, so I'm a huge ABBA fan, so I have the whole ABBA collection, but we found this very rare ABBA record where they recorded an album in Spanish. So it's a Spanish ABBA record with actually them singing. So it's a pretty rare ABBA record, and I was able to find it maybe 2 years ago. So that's where my most treasured one is. Like, I found the weird ABBA one.
Special shout out to our record, Band on the Run.
Band on the Run, and it has a skip in it, which is the best part in the record. Favorite sports team? Dallas Cowboys.
Gonzaga basketball.
Nice.
For college.
Going for the college.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Favorite TikToker? Beast Eater. Beast Eater.
One of the first follows ever.
So we have to give a little bit of background of how we started TikTok. We would go on walks like everybody during COVID in LA. And we would walk up this hill in this kind of more posh neighborhood because we were like, why don't we walk in the posh neighborhood? Because, we had nothing else to do. And there was this neon green Range Rover that was parked outside of this house with all these other cars. And this was during lockdown when there wasn't a lot of cars at everybody's house. And we were like, oh my gosh, it's like a party house. And we kind of figured out it was a TikTok collab house. And we saw on the back of this Range Rover their hashtag, which was the Kids Next Door LA. We looked them up, we found an article about them, and they were these TikTok collab kids. And the car belonged to Beast Eater, this girl with green hair, along with her boyfriend Marcus. And they're who got us into TikTok. So Beast Eater, forever. You will be my number one.
It has to be Beast Eater.
Has to be Beast Eater. So Beast
Always.
Eater, if you happen to see this, thank you. We are your fans. And special shout out to our other favorite, the Elevator Boys, the German collab house.
You love the Elevator Boys so much.
I love the Elevator Boys so much.
Cheers.
Cheers. And that's all the questions I had. Thank you again, everybody, for following us, watching along. Again, we just thought these videos were gonna be for us and for my mom. And not that my mom doesn't watch them or that we don't, but it's fun to share it with a lot of other people. And we hope that this makes you guys want to get out and do fun activities, whether that be filming YouTube or, just doing fun things, traveling or finding fun things in your own backyard. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave comments below if you have any questions you want us to answer in the future.
Thanks.